So great to have everyone here joining us, and we're so excited to chat about our upcoming design fellowship. And what's really exciting is we ran the inaugural year this year, and we were able to host 8 students this year as a part of our program. It's been a ton of success, and so we are really excited to open up our second year of this program for mid to senior level queer BIPOC designers to join us in their design leadership journey. So today's agenda, we're going to go through a few things. We're going to chat about our organization for folks who may not be familiar with us, chat about our design fellowship program, have a chance to chat and learn more from our teaching team, hear from one of our fellows this year, and then just opening up to Q&A. So a little bit about our organization. QTBIPOC Design is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that's based here in New York City in the US of A. And we are serving queer BIPOC designers at the intersection within the design and creative community. We understand that these layers result in a lot of really interesting and unique experiences that we really wanted to create the space to chat about what is happening. And especially in the sphere of design and representation in design, and to also make this industry a more inclusive and diverse space. We understand that creating spaces like this is paramount to making that happen. And so, as a part of it, we spun up in 2020 as a part of our way of thinking, how do we fortify and create this pipeline for more underrepresented designers into this industry, especially those who identify as both queer and BIPOC. And over the years, we had a great opportunity to host a plethora of events, from UX bootcamp programming to UX nights to design jam sessions to book clubs where we had authors also come join us. We had a lot of really phenomenal, exciting programming that we started physically. We ended up going virtual during the pandemic, and last year was our inaugural year, not only with our fellowship program, but to go back into in-person programming. We're really excited again to continue forth our fellowship program. And today we're going to chat a little bit about what we've been doing over the past 8 months now. We are about to graduate our latest cohort of students in next month at the 9-month mark. But over the past 8 months, we've invited students to come join in together in a hybrid context. We have some folks in the New York City region, and then also folks joining in all around the United States. And we are chatting about different topics to help empower our designers, learn leadership capabilities, up-level skills, create communities, and also chat about topics that are essential as a part of being in this industry and this space. One of the topics we hosted and chatted about this year was AI and artificial intelligence, but having really nuanced, deep discussions on how do we navigate it and how do we leverage it as a technology, but also understand the implications of it as a tool. But that's just a little bit of preview into some of what we talk about within our space, but just a few logistics before I talk about the syllabus and some of the topics. We are looking to host our next year's 9-month Design Leadership Fellowship program, and we are hosting it in a hybrid context. This means that folks will be able to join both. We'll have invitees that are in New York City in person, and we'll also have some folks being able to join who live outside of New York City for next year. We have a mix of core instructors who will be with you throughout the entire program, and also guest instructors that will be joining us throughout the journey. For those who are eligible, it would be for creative and designers who both identify as LGBTQ and BIPOC. And we're looking for early to mid to senior career designers who've been in this industry, who've done this work, but are looking for community. You're looking for a way to level up your leadership capabilities, and you're looking to build some way of connecting to other folks doing this work in a more mindful, more aware, more inclusive manner. This is definitely the space for you. but just some deadlines. We'll also post this on our website. We'll be opening applications in June. However, we'll share an early link during this session for folks to take a look at the application, to be able to send it. And then over the months of July and August, we'll be taking a look at the applications. And then we'll be sending out acceptances in August in preparation for our October session. For the cost of this program, we collect a $350 deposit only once you've been accepted to hold your seat, and it is fully refundable upon completion of the program. We want to make sure that the deposit is to hold your spot in the program, but also for folks who may join and end up exiting and don't complete the program, that the funding is there to help support the next student in their journey in the fellowship program as well. But just taking a look at the syllabus and some of the curriculum, this will also be again posted on our website, but we covered a wide range of topics to help support our students, from personal branding to leadership to making sense of money, and also how do you build communities? How do you network successfully, connecting with folks? How do you navigate upcoming technologies, including also potentially starting your own entrepreneurship journey? We cover many, many different topics in order to help empower different facets of creativity, whether you're looking to level up within the organization or you're looking to find some skills, communities, so that you can find another place that you want to move over to, or you're looking to start your own initiative but not knowing where to start. This is definitely the place to ask questions, to learn, and to grow alongside other like minded individuals. But enough about me. I would love to invite into this space. We have on this call Mags and Chula. And let me see. I'm going to hop over to the multi view. And then also Alexander. Hello. For you all to introduce yourself, uh, what brings you into the space, your experience with the program, and what gets you excited about it. So why don't we go Max, Chula, then Alexander.
Yeah, hi. I'm Max. I am one of the instructors that helps with uh, the cohort. I've been working with the team for a while now, and we've seen this evolve in different shapes and forms. It's very community driven. We try to do as much as we can to work together as a community to learn together. We bring different people with different perspectives to bring that knowledge to you. Sometimes some of us do participate as well. Um, but the biggest thing is that not only is about community, but it's also about self growth. And I think it's a great opportunity to just see what everybody's thinking about, feel, and understand that it doesn't need to be a journey that you take alone and by yourself. Like a lot of us share those things and struggles, and I think just sharing that and being in community is amazing and very needed and nowadays especially. But yeah, we're looking for people who are very motivated to go on that journey with us, and we're there to guide you however much we can support you along the way, and we'd be excited to have you.
Hi everyone, my name
Thank
is
you.
Chula. I'm also on the teaching team. I was on the boot camp for 1 year and then we shifted to the fellowship. So I think it's been pretty fun as we shift our focus from like early career to mid level, especially because I think right now it's obviously like crazy times. And I think it's nice to have a community of other people who are community oriented, who are willing to let themselves be vulnerable and share their thoughts because I think that's where like a lot of the conversations and making sense of everything around you is happening, especially because like the stuff that we talk about, it's not like professional in the sense that it's like skill building during your job, but it's more of like these soft skills. So we're having conversations about money and like trauma around money or like AI and how to like think or like I don't know, focus the logic around that. And I think to be able to learn from people who are so experienced and to also have like a supportive teaching team, like, yeah, we might not know everything, but you have this space. And I think that's really valuable.
And I'll jump in next. My name's Alexander. I think where I fit in is I'm not a designer, so I'm not coming in with any of the design expertise, but more of the community driven side and um, getting to bring together, to Chula's point, like the world is a mess, the world is burning all around us. And to be able to come together with people who are trying to grow and grow their skill set in a way that it can improve the world around them. I think it's really important to have that all together. And it's something that I really admire about the board of QT BIPOC Design, as well as it's a through line with the 2025 cohort. And I think what we're hoping to be a through line with the 2026 cohort. Again, to echo Mags and Chula, but the curriculum itself is also very it's very robust. It covers a lot of topics, and we go uh, fairly in depth, and you'll hear from a lot of really leading experts. There are truly the leading experts in AI, in networking. I think there are people talking about how to use your skills to be more engaged in your community, um, looking at money from a perspective of the entrepreneur angle. And we also recognize that not everyone in the cohort is going to be is going to be an entrepreneur. It's going to be for people who are working their way through the corporate landscape as well. So this program appeals to both sides, and yeah, I'm more on the side of working alongside Steven and just making sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's and make sure that everyone gets what they need to, and gets where they need to be.
Awesome. And um, we have a few folks who weren't able to join, but we have basically a ton of people as a part of this curriculum who are cheering you on every single day as a part of this curriculum. But also, as a part of it, we have a whole slew of other instructors who are always on the sidelines cheering you on, but also, just like Alexander mentioned, will be in the curriculum and hosting a talk, helping to answer questions, other experts, leading experts in the field. And we're really excited to continue building this community and the fellowship community with a bunch of amazing, like minded folks that really still champion so many of the things that um, we want more of: inclusivity, diversity, um, nuance in conversation, and so much more. But we definitely don't want to say just take our word for it. We have also joining us. I'm going to bring up into the space. We have Isabel also joining us. And then,
Woohoo!
woohoo, Isabel! Okay, let me
Yeah.
adjust what's on the screen. And maybe, Isabel, could you share a little bit about what are your thoughts on the program? You went through
Yeah.
it, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's been such a great experience. I feel lucky to be a part of the first cohort for QT BIPOC Fellowship. I think coming in, I had just finished my career change. So when I first applied, it was with the intent of building my network and job searching. And then I ended up getting a full-time role right before starting the fellowship. So I feel like my priorities shifted, but it was still just as valuable. I feel like my community has grown so much. I'm like going to someone's housewarming in a couple weeks. We're like really good friends. Everyone has just been super genuine, very like I think as queer BIPOC, we're in a world that's very cishet dominated, very driven by capitalism. And I think so many of us are very disillusioned now. And from like the very first fellowship event, I feel like everybody was on the same page. We were kind of venting about our woes and our feelings about the world that we're living in. And I think the fact that we can be so vulnerable with each other, we have to keep up a certain facade in the corporate world. But here, I feel like we can just be ourselves, and it's been great. Yeah, I feel like someone who's coming in with the intent of finding a job versus someone who needs to figure out next steps, which I hadn't even thought of that. Like I'd spent so long focusing on getting the job, I didn't know where to go from there. I feel like you'll benefit from this either way. Yeah, I think like talking to various speakers about like portfolio prep or how to use your finances, how to manage that, how to market yourself for that first promotion. I feel like I've gathered a lot of skills over the past like 6, 7 months. So highly recommend the program to anyone who's interested.
Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you.
And I'm just curious, Isabel, do you have any thoughts on the coaching?
Oh, like Pim?
Yeah.
It was really good. She really knows her stuff. I'd asked her about like I think it was like promotions and just how to like advocate for myself. And she'd pulled up this huge master doc that she'd used at one of her retreats like a few months before. She's someone I would consider going back to in a few months just to like check in. And yeah, I feel like she's helpful for so many different people. Yeah, I'd never been to a career coach before, so that was really cool.
I totally forgot to mention that. I like skipped through it. But as a part of our curriculum, not only do we have the one Saturday a month session, but we also, as a part of it, pair all students up with a career coach. And you get a few sessions with them to also, like Isabel mentioned, to try out coaching, see how it feels like, and also to get a really personalized, tailored one-on-one session to ask all your questions. Um, but I'm just curious, Isabel, like what in the program was there anything that stood out to you, or anything that now you're 8 months in and you've gone through this program? I'm just curious, do you have any takeaways? Are there any things that you're walking away potentially after this program ends that is going to be very still top of mind, or that had made a huge impact on you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think so many things. Definitely the community, like having you guys in my network, just friends, the friendships that I made. Also just how to kind of be grounded and find balance between putting energy into your 9 to 5, but then also putting energy into the things that really bring you passion. Um, yeah, I feel like I have a clear vision on how I want to approach my career. How to do that without like burning out or like, yeah, just different avenues that I could go down in the next 5, 10 years. Um, yeah, I feel like those are the first that come to mind. Yeah. And I would love to just like help out in the future with like future initiatives with QT BIPOC because I think it's, yeah, helping so many people.
Thanks, Isabel. We are going to a Q&A now. Let me pull up. I mean, it's just a slide that just says Q&A, but let's see if there's any questions that came through. No questions, but I'm curious, Chula or Alexander, do you have any questions that you think someone might have, or even Isabel? Any questions that we talked about the timing, we talked about the program starting in October. As far as the specific dates, we will be publishing that later on over the month of June as we just finalize a few logistics. But it's usually we have it either the first or second Saturday of the month from noon to 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. I think maybe what if you talked a little bit about like the cost deposit, and then maybe also what I would be curious about is what happens if I am absent, or like some, if I'm sick or if I have a work trip or something like that. What would I do? And am I still eligible? And should I just not bother applying?
Yeah. So, as a part of our curriculum, we allow up to one absence. And so, for folks who look at the months, and if one of the sessions you're like, hey, I can't make it, am I still eligible? You can definitely still make it through the cohort. But we really ask folks, if you can't make 7 or more of the sessions, or sorry, 8 or more of the sessions out of the 9-month program, that maybe it's a subsequent year that you want to apply. Only because each month is such a deep and different topic, and they all build upon itself, that for folks who might be absent for maybe a few of the sessions, it just goes by rather quickly. Also, the community aspect is just such an important part of this curriculum, that it's just really hard to also build community when we don't have you with us. And so, for folks who are looking at your calendar and maybe one of the sessions is a bit of a challenge, I highly recommend for you to apply. Definitely, if all of the months you're totally good to go, highly, highly recommended. But for anyone who might need to miss 2 3+ sessions, I definitely recommend maybe explore in future sessions. But like Alexander mentioned, with the $350 deposit, it is to hold your spot in the program after you've been accepted. So application is completely free. It takes about 20-30 minutes to apply, to answer a bunch of questions. It will automatically save your progress in type form, so don't feel as though you have to immediately start it and then finish it and submit it. But once it's been submitted, uh, we'll take a look at it and then get an answer over in August. And then when the answer comes in August, essentially we have a once you've claimed your seat, then you're good starting in October. We do have some students who have gotten accepted but don't pay the deposit, or they just like disappear. We don't know why that's the case, but we just want to make sure that once we lock in the students, that we are confirmed and we're good to start in October. And so really the $350 is your deposit as a part of the curriculum. And if you also finish the entire curriculum and finish at the end, you will be then eligible for a refund as a part of it, and is really just to hold the spot. Good question. Chula, do you have any questions for a
I
prospective
do.
applicant?
This might be a little spicy, but what sets us apart from like other programs that might cover like similar topics? Well, I know for me, networking might feel like a chore, but I think when we covered like networking, we covered it from the perspective of like find people whose work you resonate with and have fun with. And I think that what we offer to our fellows is kind of like this, we challenge our fellows to kind of reframe how they're thinking about like these normal topics basically. And I feel like we're not giving you the tips to be like, oh, shoot a LinkedIn message that says this and this, because that's not going to help you like stand out. I think in this day and age, it's kind of like have intention, and I think we really push our fellows to do that. Isabella, do you want to talk about like maybe a favorite month, or like something where you kind of had to like something that shifted like your reframing on a topic?
Yeah, I'm thinking back on like there are a couple of favorites that I had. I think Maurice Cherry's talk was really interesting. It was like I think the title was "How to Design When the World is Ending," which is like really funny. I resonated with his passion for third spaces, like go to your local library, find community, ground yourself. Yeah, I think whatever passion you have kind of in the outside world, taking that and relating it to your work however you can in the corporate world or freelancing. Um, I think when we had conversations around freelancing as well and LLCs, I feel like during job searching, I tried to freelance. I was left feeling very bitter about it, and then having those conversations with other fellows, I I don't know, I learned the difference between having an LLC versus working for an agency or freelancing, working for yourself. And yeah, I feel like it opened up my view a bit more. Um, yeah, those are a couple that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. and how we're different. To be honest, if I'm fully transparent, and the fellows, the design and teaching team have heard this so many times, but sometimes in this design industry, the tools and tips to success are really not shared because sometimes there's so many layers, right? There's power dynamic, there's certain societal and industrialized constructs, work constructs. But what we also do in our fellowship, we actually don't record any of the sessions and we try to be really mindful and present, and we are just sharing the moment together. But the way we actually hold our sessions is we have, folks can ask any question with some of our speakers. We also allow all the students to ask all the things that's on your mind and your heart on certain topics. And so, especially even on the topics of like AI or some of these other topics, that we have a really deep heart to heart discussion on some of these sessions. And I really truly believe that um, so much of the learnings come through these really intimate discussions on these various topics. And so some of the sessions, we really go into it. Some of the conversations on finance that we had this year, I think was, enlightening, is very deep, and it was really rich, but we also don't record it in a way to also create space for people to express and also go through that experience in the way that they feel as though they don't have to be on camera or to perform or react in a certain special way. And so, as a part of it, there's a lot of realness, there's vulnerability, there's authenticity, and there's just this beautiful sense of community that's built around that, which it's just so special to witness. And so, to your question, Chula, is I think that's how it is really largely so different than so many of these other programs out there. But also, as a part of it, obviously, we're gonna be evolving this program with so many of the fellows' feedback from this year too. And so we're always in this constant perpetual growth and transformation. And for anyone who's watching, who's seen us since the very beginning in 2021, yes, thank you for being with us on the journey all the way throughout. And I think at the end of the day, we're really excited here to keep empowering our communities. And this is really our our core programming where we feel as though we have a 9 months of really rich opportunity to sit with each other and to genuinely help support each other and figure out how we can really push ourselves and support each other, create the net, right? And continue to uplift one another in this very interesting time, for lack of a better term. But it's just so beautiful to witness. Aiden, it's exciting to see the growth of the fellowship. Curious what teaching team learned from first cohort that we're going to change the second. I mean, I will start, and maybe Alexander Chule, if you want to share anything else. But I think there's just a lot of learnings throughout the process. I think in some of the talks we were very ambitious, and so we were like, we're gonna cram in so much. And I think throughout the different talks and sessions, we definitely found a balance of how much is enough content materials slash what are some of the workshop elements that we want to bring, and so definitely a little bit more massaging of some of that so that we can definitely leverage the time. But as far as time goes, we try to be really diligent that from the time that we have on the Saturdays, understanding it's a weekend, that we're very mindful with the time slot. And so I think for us, just figuring out how do we maximize that in a way that we can also help support and build community and skills for all the fellows. Alexander?
Yeah, I would say something that we've talked about a bit is, to Stephen's point, like there was a lot at the beginning of the program, a lot more, I don't want to say like talking at. We had certain exercises, and then the speakers would come in and they would speak about the thing. And I think as we gradually made our way through the program, towards the end of the program, it was a lot more dialogue than presentation and, stand and deliver. It was less of that. And I think going into next year, having just more time for dialogue. Some of my favorite moments of this past cohort were actually when, like, the people who were in person here in New York, we went and got coffee in between, like in the middle of the sessions, and it was just like getting to chat and like digest the information. I think was really valuable. So that was a big learning for me that I would like to, rather than have that be in the coffee break in between, maybe bake that into the actual curriculum. Chula, what about you?
I have to hop off soon, so this is going to be the last thing I say. But I think that what I found really valuable as like someone on the teaching team was seeing how everyone kind of crowdsourced the tools that they all used. And because like sometimes I think the teaching team um, not just here, but like in other places might offer like tools in general, but you don't actually know how to apply it. But like hearing from every fellow how they use like maybe certain AI tools to like note take or like in their work process, I thought that was really valuable because it's kind of like, oh, like I never thought about it that way. And I think that in like like in all of this ambiguity, it's nice to like see like how people are using stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So that was a great reminder, Chula, at the end of our session, our info session. Thank you everyone for bearing with us as we figure out the logistics. But real quick, for anyone who's interested, let me adjust some of the ones. Thank you, Isabel, by the way, for showing up. Much appreciated.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
Isabel.
Boom. Awesome. So right after this, thank you, Alexander, for posting the Creative Chats link. We are hosting a Creative Chat session with Justin Hall, a comic book creator, as a part of kicking off additional events. And so if anyone's interested and you have an hour to be in community and to learn, feel free to join us there. Registration is in the Luma link, and there'll be a Zoom invite that comes once you register. But with that, also our favorite mascot, Cecil. This is him in one of our sessions, just taking a nap. But just the beauty of sharing space. But just a reminder again, applications open June 1st. It will close June. I don't think there's a 31st. It's June 30th. Sorry for the typo. But the link, again, will be shared out either, we have it here in the chat, but we'll also share the link out via emails. So if you haven't subscribed to our email newsletter, highly recommend qtbipoc.design is our website URL. You can sign up for a newsletter for the latest alerts, but on our website, you'll be able to see a link that's posted in June 1st. But we just wanted to share the link here for the application for anyone who's just joining us. We're really excited to get your application started. That's our little present to you. But definitely, if there's any other questions that folks have, feel free to message us. And hopefully, we'll see your application. But we're really excited to host this session again next year with you all. And with that, hope you have a good evening. Maybe we'll see you at the next session. Hope to see your application. Thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye.